Last Friday, my plan imploded. I was reviewing my budgeting, making sure everything is watertight while I wait for the house move to progress, and I found a hole. For a few hours, I felt physically nauseous. I was shaking. To witnesses, and there were some, it looked like I was grieving. And for the first time, I thought 6 chilling words. Is it time to get real? And once that hurdle was dealt with, there was another fairly obvious question waiting behind it. How do I just rustle up tens of thousands of pounds? Pilot training is expensive. That isn't exactly news just in. But because I'm doing this modularly, the cost isn't one enormous invoice. It's lots of separate chunks spread over a fairly long period of time. So I've tried to do the opposite. I've costed the whole route as best I can from where I am now with a PPL all the way to being ready to apply for an airline job. But before I show you those numbers, I need to explain what went wrong last week. The biggest part of my training fund is coming from selling my house. I'm 40, I've got equity tied up in property, and I made the decision that rather than leaving that money sitting in a house while I dreamed of the career that might have been, I'd use part of it to fund this career change. Now, the house is jointly owned and there's a mortgage to pay off. And somewhere in all of my diligent calculations, I had managed to overestimate the amount that was actually mine at the end. For your purposes, the precise numbers aren't really the important part. The important part is where this goes. I'm the only one of the two of us liable for the mortgage here, so if I just move it from here to here, as I should, the amount that I have free for training after paying off everything that I need to goes down by, wait for it, £30,000. So after spending months getting myself psychologically to the point where I'm actually doing this, the idea of having to put everything back in the box again was a sucker punch, to say the least. And just after I'd launched a YouTube channel. Good, eh? Now, a significant piece of the equation was what I owed my parents. My parents had previously helped pull me out of a financial difficulty, and the deal was that I repay it in smaller chunks until the move, and the remainder would be repaid on completion. When I told them what I'd done, once again, they came to the rescue. They offered to delay repayment for 2 years. Financially, that changes everything, because it means the money I thought I had available for training is effectively available again. Plus a bit more, actually. But really, the part that hit me most wasn't the spreadsheet. It was the trust behind it. And in spite of that, what they were basically saying was, we believe you're serious, and we trust you to go and do it. It's added some pressure, definitely, but the useful kind. Because now, I'm even more determined not to waste the faith they've put in me. With the plan rescued, I went back through the numbers properly and about 20 times. So this is my current best estimate of what the entire route is going to cost me. First, the PPL. I've already spent roughly £15,400 getting the license I have now. Then from here, I've got a medical, ATPL theory exams, my night rating, hour building, the commercial pilot's license, the multi-engine and instrument rating, advanced upset prevention and recovery training, multi-crew cooperation training, then administrative and ancillary fees like exams, skill tests, and travel. That gives me a total estimated cost from 0 to airline ready of around £83,000. So from where I am today, I still expect to spend roughly £68,000. When the house completes, at this point, my current expectation is that I'll have about £41,000 available. But I'd be foolish to treat every pound of that as flying money. I'm ring-fencing about £3,000 as an emergency buffer, because the quickest way to turn this plan into a disaster again would be to spend every penny on training, and then the fridge explodes. Someone steals all of my pants, or I lose my watch in a bacon fight. These things can happen, and I can't ignore that. So, in reality, I'm looking at roughly £38,000 as the pot I can actually deploy towards training currently. And I won't spend all of that immediately. In the first year, the big costs should be the ATPL exams, our building, and the medical side of things. My current rough expectation is around £20,000 in that first phase. The rest comes later. And importantly, I'll still be earning and saving while I train. Any remaining gap will need to be covered by loans, but after last week, I'm much less interested in whether it works on an optimistic spreadsheet, and much more interested in whether it survives reality. The problem with making a video called "This is what my pilot training costs" or otherwise, is that the figures will start going out of date almost immediately. So I'd like to introduce you to my new website. On ricksflightplan.com, I've built a live training cost tracker. It'll show you where I'm at in my journey, how much I've spent so far, and what I expect to spend. What's more, you can sign up absolutely for free and see even more detailed cost data. My real hope here, though, is that this becomes useful to anybody else trying to work out whether they can afford to do this. Use it. It's there for you too. Now, obviously, selling a house is not a normal requirement for becoming a pilot, and it is certainly not the only way people fund this. There are people who save for years, people who train slowly while working, and people who borrow money. And I think the funding question probably deserves its own video, because for a lot of people, the hardest part of becoming a pilot isn't passing the exams or learning to fly. It's finding a financially sensible way of getting through the training when you quite understandably don't have a spare £100,000. Right now, the situation is this. The medical hurdle is largely behind me and the money is there, assuming I manage it properly. And the next stage is no longer theoretical. I'm about to start the ATPL exams, which is unquestionably the biggest academic challenge I've taken on, ever. And alongside that, I need to start turning this training budget into actual flying. So we're still in the game. Just a house move, £68,000, 13 exams, and I guess I'd better learn to be a professional pilot too. You know what though? I still can't wait.